Welcome back to another Pokemon What If Wednesday, where every single Wednesday morning I post a video going through last week's investing and collecting questions, where your guys' questions will actually be featured in the video, and one person's question will actually help me make the thumbnail. So please drop your questions down below for a chance to be in next week's video. And if I did say great question, I might use this and I didn't, please drop that same question again and make sure you put repeat question and it will get moved to the top. And it could be whatever questions you want. It could be questions about starting your YouTube channel, collecting, investing, personal, it does not matter. And then two, I'm not saying I'm some guru who just knows everything, but when I'm unsure, I always like to talk it out with a few people. It always helps me make my final decision. And we do have to get thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is PokeNE. If you guys are in the market for any type of sealed modern boxes, he's got you covered. I mean, just for Pokemon, he has English, Japanese, simplified Chinese, Korean, Thai, Indonesian. He even has sealed cases. Other TCGs as well, One Piece, Demon Slayer, My Hero, Jujutsu Kaisen, which we just finished. The show was great. And if PokeNE sounds familiar, that's because he is Brian. PokeNE on YouTube. He has some of the best content when it comes to Pokemon business. So definitely check him out. All the links are in the description. And if you use the code PokeBeard at checkout, you will receive $5 off any order over $50 and receive a free bonus pack. All right, first question is from @TylerDonovan6217. Would you sell a case of 4 Pokemon Center exclusive Surging Sparks ETBs now, or keep them long term? If long term, what time duration do you aim for? Well, let's take a little peek, see what they're going for. So a case last sold 410, 430, 430. But you probably got to add shipping to that. So you can get one shipped right now for $440. So if you got it on, release, it was around $260. So you're making a decent profit, almost $200, but closer to about $150 after fees and all that. So the question is, are you really, truly happy with that $150? Because there's a super high possibility that this Pokemon Center ETB never comes back in stock, And what happens when stuff never comes back in stock for Pokemon? It usually just keeps going up and up and up. So, maybe if you have a ton of these or a few cases at least, then you could maybe sell one and invest it into something else. But I personally would not sell any Surging Sparks Pokemon Center ETBs right now. Especially you're not making like life-changing money or anything like that. You never know. That case could be $1,000 a year from now. Like you just never know. But the one thing we do know, if it does come back in stock, it's going to be sold out in minutes. That's something we do know for sure. So, yeah, I would just hold, to be honest. All right, next is from @TDMorton29. What are some cards that have a good PSA 10 multiplier for grading and selling? I'm trying to fund some new singles and thought it would be a fun project to make a few good grading plays. I'm actually not going to answer that right now because I have a new series coming soon, and it's going to be a once-a-month series. It's going to be called like Sleeper Sundays or Sleepy Sundays. I'm not 100% sure yet. So it might be this Sunday or the Sunday after. And that's where we're going to go over a ton of cards and boxes that are just complete sleepers. So I'm very, very excited about that. I've been working on the thumbnail for a while now. I'm just trying to have as much original content as I possibly can. So that question will be answered during that video. Please let me know down below what you guys think of that idea. All right, next is from @PokeHutch90. What's up, Beard? I am sure you've seen my comments, but I take what you say and apply it. So thank you for what you do. 2 quick questions. What cards do you see exploding from Scarlet and Violet? And should I buy a booster case of Paldea Evolved while it's still cheap because the Magikarp is blowing up? I still feel like the Zapdos EX is the most underrated card in the Scarlet and Violet era. Iron Valiant is also super underrated. And for the Paldea Evolved case, I think that's a decent buy. It is going down right now. So, maybe watch it a little bit longer and see if it keeps falling. And then once it levels out, then you could maybe buy one. You got to think, Paldea Evolved was pretty much the best set. Like that and 151 is pretty much anybody ever talked about in the Scarlet and Violet era. Now we have, Searching Sparks, Prismatic Evolutions. So it does make sense that this box is going to fall a little bit. So last sold for the case, $793, $793, $793, $793. So yeah, just keep watching it. Wait for it to level out. I do have a feeling it will fall a little more, to be honest. But I do love Paldea Evolved. Next is from @SqueamishGold25. I have 21 of the Pokemon Center ETB Mimikyu promos. Congrats. They have gone up a lot, and I was wondering if it would be smart to grade them all or keep a few non-graded. Thank you for your hard work on your videos. Listen to them every morning on the way to work. So we'll take a little peek at Mimikyu. Last sold on TCG Player, 40, 35, 43, 40. And then if we check on eBay, a PSA 8 sold for 52, a 10 sold for 165. So, decent value in a 10. So what I like to do, just go through them all in like your best lighted area and just really, really look at them and be super, super picky and just get like a guaranteed pile, a maybe pile, and a no pile. And then what I like to do is when I have like that guaranteed and maybe pile, I like to switch rooms, like switch the light a little bit, and you'll be shocked on like how many different things you'll see that you didn't see before, or even have someone else look at it. I always like doing that too. So I always have Mrs. Beard check the cards, and then I'll check the cards, and then I'll check them under lights and stuff. And our PSA 10 rate is pretty crazy, to be honest, but we're super, super picky because we have so many cards that, you know, we don't have to send in every card. But yeah, just be super picky. Pick the nicest ones, just so you're not wasting money. You know, you're not getting a ton of value if you get a 9. A 9 sold here for $50. So, I mean, you probably got the card for around $10, you know, grading. You would technically profit a little bit on 9s, but, you know, if you got a few chewed up ones, definitely just keep them sealed. You know, those are good binder cards, and people will buy them because not everybody buys graded cards. More raw cards sell every day than graded cards, and that'll probably never change. All right, next is from @ZooAnimalMon. First question, is it worth buying the Terapagos UPC? So it was just on sale for like Black Friday and Cyber Monday for $82.50 at Target. So I personally would not buy this box at around $100, $120. I guarantee you this box will be more valuable in the future. Probably will be a $150 UPC and then probably a $200 UPC. But I have a feeling it's going to take a very, very long time. You just always have to look at the products before. You know, the Charizard UPC, which is much, much better than this box. And even the Arceus UPC, you know, isn't the best, but it's gaining pretty good value. But that is also a GameStop exclusive. So I would probably wait. I have a feeling this box will be super, super cheap, and I think will go on sale a lot of places. So it got down to $90 on TCG Player and came back up a little bit. 94, 102, 97, 97, a bunch of 97s. And then the only reason I would even get one is because, you know, I do like the metal cards. And then I do like ultra premium collections. I don't think this box is going to be crazy valuable. I would much rather buy a booster box for around $100 than this thing. But, you know, booster boxes just cannot be beat. But I do like the Terapagos. So next is from @SnickelFritz. Hilarious name. Hey Beard, how well do you think 3-pack blisters will do in the future? Take a little peek. So let's see. Ancient Origins, market price 150. Breakthrough, market price 150. Evolving Skies, market price $90 for the Umbreon one. There's another one that's a little cheaper, like 80, 75 bucks. But, you know, that's a good way to tell. So look at Evolving Skies. So Evolving Skies booster box is almost $1,000, and the 3-pack blister is around $100. And then you got to think the regular ETBs are around $200. So, I mean, if you compare it to the ETB, which would be technically like $40, and now it's, you know, gained $160 in value. If you bought 2 of these 3-pack blisters for like $15 a piece, you know, that's a crazy price if you think about it. You know, that's $30 total, and you've gained, you know, about $150, $160. So they do almost as good as ETBs. So they are not a bad product at all. They're just not my favorite because I don't really enjoy the promos. But yeah, 3-pack blisters are very, very solid. Sleeve boosters are solid. They just take a little bit longer to move than the booster boxes. Those always go first, then the ETBs, then the 3-pack blisters and sleeve boosters. But if you're on a budget, like I was on a budget for pretty much all of Pokemon history. So when I actually started investing, I was only buying sleeve boosters. Like I have XY Flash Fire sleeve boosters, you know, Team Up, because that's all I could honestly afford. So, you know, it is totally fine, and those things are worth a good amount right now. All right, next question is from @Lozar3313. Hey Beard, think you're the man. You have inspired me and my bud to start our own business. What's your opinion on the 2017 Shining Legends holiday set having the Mewtwo and Shining Rayquaza and Lugia promo chase cards? I feel like smaller sets without booster boxes are starting to grow as a collector's choice. So I'll take a little peek. I do enjoy this set. I have all the Shining cards. I have a lightly played Mewtwo. I need a better one, to be honest. But I also love a lot of the older sets. Most people nowadays do not care about these sets, you know? I mean, looking at the Shining Mew, Shining Rayquaza, you know, it's not a full art. It's not an alternate art. So I don't think these sets are going to go super, super crazy, to be honest. I just feel like they're going to be super slow gainers for the sealed. And then the singles will, you know, constantly go up and down, up and down. I do think the Mewtwo card is one of the greatest Pokemon cards ever created. And it is 100% an alternate art. And I think it blows pretty much any Mewtwo we've gotten out of the water in a long time. Like, it's such a good Mewtwo card. Next is from @RMCRMCRMCRMC. Amazing content as always. My question, I have a full pack of the 2000 Pokemon Gold playing cards with a Ho-Oh on the back. After grading them recently, 90% have come back PSA 10. Is it a hold or a sell? It cost me $250 for the whole pack around 3 years ago, and obviously $15 per graded card. So I think I'm already up from here return-wise. So I enjoy these cards, but again, there's a ton of people who just do not care about these cards. So since you didn't get them all in a PSA 10, what I would maybe do is, keep a few of your favorites, and then you could possibly start selling the rest, especially the 9s, start getting rid of those right away. I enjoy stuff like this, but even look at this, a PSA 10, Sneasel sold for $28. That's a very old card. That's from the year 2000. So almost a 25-year-old card in a PSA 10 sold for, $28. Next is from @ShinyShay. Do you think the Umbreon's current rise in price for Raw and PSA 10 has been influenced by the Umbreon SIR in the upcoming Prismatic Evolutions set? I can see a world in which collectors want both in their PC. Do you think it will continue to climb after Prismatic is officially released? Or might it be a good time to sell it? Thanks for the great content as always. Cheers. Take a little peek. Last sold on eBay in a 10. $1,875, $1,975, $1,875. A 9 sold for $1,300. We got a raw at $1,250. Another raw at $975. See if we can find another raw here. So many 10s. Another raw here for $1,400. So to be honest, even if we wouldn't have got an evolution set, I still have a feeling this card, was going to go crazy. But there's just so many people who want this card. It's kind of tough. And then I have a feeling too, the new Umbreon, depending on pull rates, which I have a feeling the pull rates are not going to be nearly as tough, but I have a feeling that Umbreon is going to go crazy. Like it's going to do, I think, exactly what the Pikachu did, maybe even a little crazier. And then I do have a feeling this Umbreon will probably go up in price even more too when Prismatic Evolutions comes out. I don't think there's going to be anything really to stop this Umbreon. I could see it leveling out sometimes, but yeah, I don't know. It's just so many people want it. All right, next is from @IzzyLogan25. Can you comment on the new PSA magazines that focus on pop culture? New in 2024. So far, several Pokemon covers with good market values and a one-piece promo going for around $150 ungraded. Then there's the 1 in 100 and 1 in 1000 editions apparently going to random members. I really like this new approach from PSA. Thank you as always for the outstanding content. Love to you and your family. Thank you. So I really haven't been paying too much attention to these PSA magazines. I think they are super cool. And I did hear about the numbered one, and it instantly made me want it. I just love those numbered things. But yeah, we got the Lugia here, number 78 out of 100, sold for $305 with $8.70 in shipping. So it looks like the regular ones, you're not really getting a ton of value. The Blastoise here open for $30. I mean, we got the Lugia here, sold for $10. We got another numbered one here, number 15 out of 100, sold for $255. Another Lugia one for $12. So, if you can get the number ones, I think that is the way to go. And like I said, I love the numbered collectibles. Pretty much all of my collectibles are numbered. I have so many statues, lithographs, a ton of art. It's all numbered. Next is from @DarkKnight. Hi Beard, the Unagaba cards have grown on me. I purchased 2 of them in pristine 10 CGC slabs. Seeing that CGC is not preferred for many, should I cross-grade them or keep them and buy the others in CGC slabs? I'd prefer to keep them uniform. And I do apologize for any noises she's making. She has a little bit of a cold, so I'm trying to help Mrs. Beard out here so she can relax. But as long as you're going CGC pristine, I think that is totally okay. PSA is obviously going to be king, and then Beckett is also super, super solid. But yeah, as long as you stick with the pristines for CGC, I think that is totally fine. Every day, I meet somebody new who only collects CGC. And the value is pretty crazy. A lot of these are worth more. You can get a PSA 10 Sylveon Unagaba card right now for like 60, 70 bucks. And it just sold for 100. So some of the cards actually hold more value. All right, next is from KiwiBear69. PokeBeard in 2019, Latios and Latias GX Secret Rare was $15, and Raikou EX from Team Aqua, Team Magma set was $30. Do you think that there will ever be a time in Pokemon where beautiful cards will cost that little again? If not, what do you think is the next card that may blow up 6,333% their original value? Yeah, I don't think there will ever really be a time like that again. After that big boom, every single card pretty much went up in value, and a lot of them have not come back down. A lot of the vintage went super, super crazy, so they came back down. But still, every vintage card is worth way more now than it was before 2019. I remember buying first edition holo cards for $30, $40 in near mint condition for every card, some of the best cards in the set. But I do feel like there are some cards that are pretty undervalued, but that's why I collect everything. Like I have pretty much the best cards from every single era, you know, just because I love all those eras and I grew up with all of them and I played the TCG and stuff. But I have a feeling, you know, some of them might boom and some of them, you know, might just stay the same forever. Next is from @Sakchi. Hey PB, great video. I was wondering if it's worth me investing in cards that are smaller in value, $1 to $5, or if it's a complete waste of my time since I'll never make a big profit out of them. You know, someone just asked me this same question too, why I buy, you know, a bunch of cheap cards. Well, my plan is always to get the best ones graded. So if you're doing this, definitely think about grading. There are a ton of cards that are, you know, $1 to $10 that, you know, are worth $100 or more in a PSA 10. So if you are investing in these $1 to $5, even $10 cards, make sure you are getting the best possible condition cards that you know that has a really, really good chance of getting the 10. Because that's where you're really, really going to make your value. So like when I have, you know, 50 Snorlax 151 promos and, you know, 25 of them grade PSA 10s, like that's crazy value of a card that I literally paid $1 for. And then two, I have a feeling those cards will be worth, you know, $5, $10 down the road to where, you know, after fees and everything, you're still making $6, $7 a card. You know, it's not crazy money, but if you times that times 50 or whatever, or a bunch of cards, it starts to add up. Plus, too, if you do have a store, it's nice to just have a popular, cheaper card that sells quickly. You know, you can just sit and restock it and restock it. I always like having stuff like that when I used to sell a ton. But yeah, just always plan to grade if you are actually buying cards for like investment-wise. It's huge difference. Next is from @AdamHiggins7802. Hey man, like your videos. I impulse bought a case of Paradox Rift for $650 and a case of Silver Tempest for $1K. Could I get your opinion on those two sets? I love Paradox Rift. I think that was a solid buy. I have a feeling Paradox Rift is going to be like, no joke, Fusion Strike. Like that is my guess right now. Silver Tempest at 1K, that's not terrible also. I think Silver Tempest is pretty slept on. 1K I feel like it's a little high. It's not the end of the world. Someone just offered me a case of Silver Tempest for like 900, so, you know, it's not that bad. But yeah, I think they're both honestly sleeper sets. That Lugia is going crazy. And then Silver Tempest, you know, it's not a bad set at all. If you really compare it to every Pokemon set in history, it blows 95% of all Pokemon sets out of the water. Plus, you got some sealed cases. I think that is honestly always a solid buy. Next is from @Matronomus. Do you ever wonder if something you mentioned will set off a run on that product? For example, you mentioned how Paradox Rift is still pretty affordable. Pokene said the same thing earlier today. I got the feeling that within a month or two, you won't be able to find a single booster box under retail. Not saying it's your guys' fault, but that seems to be where it's trending. But yeah, I definitely do think some of these videos can influence some people's purchases, but that's why I always, you know, buy the products that I'm talking about. So that way we're actually investing and collecting together. You know, if you do want to get the same stuff I do, that's, you know, totally up to you. If you don't, that's totally fine also. But yeah, I just don't like the channels where they say buy this, buy this, buy this, and they're not actually buying it themselves. Or they're the ones that are saying, buy this, buy this, buy this, because they're sitting on tons of it and they want to instantly sell it for a profit. Those are the two things that I just cannot stand. All right, next is oh wow, Jaco Pogalizalai 2445. I guarantee you I butchered that. I'm starting a collection of graded cards. Any suggestions for an English PSA 9 modern card in the $50 to $100 a year range? Currently, I have Alakazam from 151 and Shiyu from PAL Evolved. So I strongly recommend, if you're doing modern, try to get PSA 10s if you can afford it. You know, obviously they're pretty expensive, but not as many people want PSA 9s. A lot of people would rather just get a raw card because it's a little cheaper than a PSA 9, then buy a PSA 9. And then obviously, you know, if they're buying graded cards, they want to get that 10. So if you can, you know, maybe get one less card a month or whatever and just stick to PSA 10 when you're dealing with modern, I promise you, you'll be so much more happier that you did. You know, especially if some of these cards take off, like, you know, like Zapdos for 151 is still pretty cheap. I talk about that card constantly. You know, Iron Valiant is super cheap. Altaria from Paradox Rift is super cheap in a 10. You know, there are some awesome special illustration rares, you know, with no crowns, very popular Pokemon that are under $100 in a 10. All right, next is from Archmage Yami Polly. Hey man, love the videos and they're helping so much as I've only come back to Pokemon over the last few months. I have a question. What's your opinions about buying booster boxes of 151 and Eevee Heroes in the prints outside of English and Japanese? At the moment, I'm keeping my English sealed and opening Korean to scratch that itch, but do you think buying, say, a case of 151 and Eevee Heroes in Korean could be a good move long term? All my plans right now are for 10 plus year holds. It's pretty tough to say because we just don't know what that market is going to be like, in the future. We have a pretty good idea the English market is still going to be here, and we have a pretty good idea the Japanese market is still going to be here. But, I mean, if we're talking EV Heroes and 151, I do have a feeling they will do pretty good, especially because the English is going to be so expensive, the Japanese is going to be so expensive, to where if people do want to get some of that and actually open it or just have something sealed, their only options might be Korean or other languages. And I constantly hear people say they do not care what the language is, they only want those arts. So if people actually mean what they say, and they don't care about the value and they care about the art, then people will start buying Korean cards and stuff like that. So I do think they will gain value, but it's just definitely riskier than buying English or Japanese. Next is from @StephenFoster_XAG. Hey Beard, what do you think the Pokemon Center allow multiple orders even though they limit them to 2? I find this strange and a little unfair, especially when a set is super popular like Prismatic Evolutions. I get ordering say 2 on your own account and 2 on your spouse's account, what I was going to do, but why allow people 10 plus orders of 2 on the same account? Yeah, I do think it's kind of crazy. I personally know some people who ordered over 50 Pokemon Center ETBs. They are other creators and they are box breakers. They only really care about getting their product so they can, make some money on these box breaks. Yeah, I think it's crazy. And I have heard of Pokemon Center canceling some orders, so hopefully they start cracking down on that for some of these bigger orders. Next is from @TPokePulls, a member. Hypothetically, what would be the one Pokemon product / card someone could offer you free of charge and all you had to do to get it was shave your beard? So I pretty much have all the Pokemon cards that I really want, but I would love a first edition Shadowless Charizard in a PSA 10. I already have one raw, not even close to a 10, but I would love that card in the 10. Or a sealed first edition Shadowless base set booster box. I know like the 2 most expensive things, but those are the things I absolutely dream about. And what's crazy is I was actually in the card store when the card store owner opened that first edition base set booster box. I remember it to this day, and I ended up getting 2 first edition packs, which I still have those packs, and I have the cards from those packs. Ever since then, I have been completely obsessed with first edition Shadowless base set. That's why I'm actually trying to complete an entirely second set of it, so that way I can have a set down here that I can look at and take cards out and actually enjoy every day. All right, next is from Come Out and Play. With the spike in investors lately, do you think it runs the risk of squeezing out the casual collectors and even the players? If they can't find or afford the cards they want and the flippers, breakers, and investors are the majority, could that hurt the market long term? Or is Pokemon's brand strong enough to weather this latest run on the market? So I'm not super worried. Pokemon is just crazy. There's nothing really like Pokemon in this entire planet, and I have a feeling Pokemon will do just fine. I do have a feeling though, the scalpers and like the flippers and even the box breakers are going to turn some fans away because they just can't find any of the new products. I honestly feel like some of the breakers are worse than some of the scalpers right now because they just need to get so many products and cards because they have to do their daily live streams. But yeah, I'm not super worried. I think there's going to be plenty. I do have a feeling Pokemon will cool down, once we get a few sets people don't like. A lot of the real fans will be here, and a lot of the ones who just kind of jump into the hype, they go on to the next thing that gets hyped up. But all right, next question is from @TheMingler441. Hey Beard, hope you're having an awesome Thanksgiving week. A lot of people are on the hype train for Prismatic Evolutions comparing it to Evolving Skies. One huge difference though is that Prismatic is a specialty set with no booster box. Will this make the value of the set even higher and the cards even rarer? So if you actually look at Pokemon history, the specialty sets do not do as good as like the best mainline sets. The booster box, you just can't really compete with it. Even though these Pokemon Center ETBs are definitely going to give some of these booster boxes a run for their money. But usually the main sets with the booster boxes win. But like I said, we don't know yet. Pokemon Center ETBs are such a new product that we really do not know the future of these boxes. Like we have no data on it. So I have a feeling it's going to be kind of crazy. Next is from @CAFTCG. Last question. I've been away from Pokemon since Gym Challenge and 151 brought me back. Thanks for all the great and insightful content. If I was going to start collecting and holding booster boxes with low capital, would you recommend getting a case of one set or getting one box from each of the Scarlet and Violet sets? So, super good question. Now, it really depends on what you're doing. If you're a little bit more on the collecting side, it is pretty fun to get all the booster boxes. But then here's the downfall. Then you're going to come up to a box like Surging Sparks where you need to get some, and they're $200 something a box. So if you're just talking more investment wise, it's probably smarter to just invest in sealed cases of certain sets. That's honestly much smarter. But like even myself, like I have all the Scarlet and Violet era booster boxes. I really want to get a case of every Scarlet and Violet Pokemon Center ETBs. You know, the collector in me just wants it so bad, but I don't want to overpay, you know? So I'm probably going to just hold off on the actual sealed collections and, you know, really just stick on smart sealed investments and stuff. And I obviously have all the booster boxes that I'm collecting too. So as long as I'm scratching one sealed collection itch and then investing pretty heavy into the Pokemon Center ETBs without overpaying at all, you know, I think that's pretty smart. But yeah, I have at least 3 booster boxes for every single Scarlet and Violet era set with, you know, a ton of Scarlet and Violet base set, Paradox Rift, Paldea Evolved. You know, hopefully I can get more Surging Sparks one day. Hopefully I can get more Twilight Masquerade one day. It just all depends on reprints and stuff. Plus 2, there's 2 good things about sealed cases. They have a premium, and then you don't have to worry about, you know, storing or, you know, protecting your booster boxes or ETBs. They're in the case. They're nice and safe. But all right, that was today's Pokemon What If Wednesday. Please drop your questions down below for a chance to be in next week's video. And then, of course, if you guys like this content, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. Leaving a like and comment helps the most, and I comment back to every single person. Might take me up to a week now, but I will definitely get to you. And then, too, if you guys want to know when Prismatic Evolutions comes back in stock or 151 or anything like that, definitely follow my Instagram, or you can join my YouTube membership. It's only 99 cents a month. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. And if you guys want to watch my last Pokemon Market Monday, which was my biggest Market Monday ever, click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.